Butch Stearns of the Pulse Network, Kerry Byrne of Cold Hard Football Facts. Time for our Bet On It segment here on Cold Hard Football Facts on Football Nation. It's the NFC Championship game. It's the Niners on the road, favored by 4.5 points at the Atlanta Falcons. You surprised?
Well, the big story in this game is the Falcons have been so great at home in the Matt Ryan era and the Mike Smith era. Our underdogs at home for the first time since Week 5, 2011, almost two entire seasons, Butch, since they've been an underdog, and a pretty good underdog at that, around 4.5 as of the time we did this video.
We look closer at the numbers in the Bet On It segment, and you look at teams' records. You also look at team records against the spread. What do the numbers tell us about painting the picture of the Atlanta Falcons at home?
Well, here's one reason why I think the Falcons are underdogs in this game at home, and despite their great overall record. And it also explains, Butch, this will explain why the public has never really yet bought in to the Atlanta Falcons. I think that win over Seattle, that last second win, changed a lot of minds. But the public was never really on board, and still not on board when they were a home dog. But the Falcons, okay, this year 14-3 overall, but 9-7-1 against the spread. They're barely beating the spread. 6-11. If you look at the over/under line, they've been low-scoring games in general. And at home, 8-1 overall, but 4-5 against the spread this season. So they're winning games at home, but they're not beating up teams at home, which is why the public still has always kind of been a little iffy on the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, if you look at people who place a wager on a game, if you look at fantasy players, right, they often get disappointed with things beyond who wins and loses the game. Yeah. So if you want to be that team that captures all football fans' imagination, you want to win against the spread, and you want your stars putting up big numbers. Yeah. That is the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And by the way, the 49ers, the Falcons, real quick before we jump to that, didn't cover the spread against the Seahawks either. They were 2.5 3-point favorites, won by 2. So even there, they're 0-2 against the spread in their last 2 games. But the 49ers, under Jim Harbaugh, are the greatest juggernaut against the spread in football right now. I mean, I'm going to read some of these numbers. 23-11-1 against the spread over the last 2 seasons under Jim Harbaugh. Best in the NFL. The closest to them is Seattle, half a game behind. 22-11-1, played 1 less game. This team not only wins, but they beat public perception. Their record overall, 26-8-1, third best in the NFL. Only the Patriots are a game better. The Packers half a game better. And not only that, Butch, this team can do it anywhere. They can win anywhere, anytime. On the road, 11-5 straight up, and 10-6 against the spread. Again, under Jim Harbaugh. 2 years ago, remember, he took over a pretty iffy to bad football team. And since then, they're one of the best teams in football. They win as much as any team in football, and win more against the number than any team in football over the last 2 years.
Let me ask you a final question in this Bet On It segment about Jim Harbaugh and his legacy. And I want to ask you how, in your opinion, the numbers tie into this. You're all about, on Cold Hard Football Facts, the numbers that correlate to victory. Yep. The indicators about winning and winning by the spread under Harbaugh are pretty impactful here. Clearly, Harbaugh's got to win the big game and win a Super Bowl for him to be considered a great coach. But are these indicators to you that they're poised to win a Super Bowl, possibly?
Yeah, I mean, I put more trust in certain indicators, like we always talk about passer rating differential, defensive passer rating, things like that, where San Francisco is a very good team, including in our quality stats power rankings. But I think it takes a while for the public to catch up with where a team really is. So last year, and the public didn't, the 49ers literally came out of nowhere, right? So you understand last year, it's when they did it again this year, to me, is a testament to how good they are. And what they are a well-coached, well-run football team. And look at the Colin Kaepernick performance. Alex Smith had a big, huge game in the divisional playoffs last year against the Saints. He had well over 100 passer rating. He ran for a touchdown. He put up great numbers, too. Jim Harbaugh has had 2 guys that nobody really believed could play at a high level in the NFL. Play at an incredibly high level in the NFL. It's not just one guy now, it's 2 quarterbacks, including 2 guys that basically came out of nowhere based on what they'd done before. That, to me, is a testament to good coaching and a reason to fear the 49ers going into Atlanta and beating a team that really, if ever, loses at home.
It's the Niners at the Falcons in the NFC Championship. It's the NFC Championship by the numbers here on Cold Hard Football Facts.